Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we are really getting into a fascinating case study. It's all about strategic business transformation. Our source material focuses on Khloé Kardashian and, well, the incredible evolution of her brand, Good American. Now, let's set the scene a bit. The sources lay out this really striking contrast. Khloé spent years kind of in the background, often labeled the least famous Kardashian, frequently the target of comparison jokes. Yet today, she's the driving force behind Good American, a fashion brand that's pulling in over $200 million in annual revenue. That's not just a comeback story. That's building a whole new business machine.
It really is a remarkable shift. And the mission for us today in this deep dive is to understand the mechanics behind that. How did that happen? We're not looking for gossip or, hype. We're analyzing the actual business strategy. How do you take that kind of underdog public story and convert it into foundational equity and real market command? It's almost like a blueprint, really, for turning perception into profit.
Okay, so the first step in that blueprint, it feels like it has to be the hardest one. That strategic shift from being an employee of fame to become the owner of capital.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you trace her journey, her main income at first was, the guaranteed money from keeping up with the Kardashians.
Yeah.
That launched way back in 2007, plus all those high-value celebrity endorsements.
Right, the paychecks.
Paychecks, exactly. They pay the bills, sure, but they don't build that generational kind of wealth unless you redirect them.
That jump, though, from being paid to show up, essentially, to owning the whole operation, that seems huge. Practically speaking, how tough is it for someone who's making massive guaranteed endorsement cash to pivot? I mean, into the risk, the operational headaches of running a supply chain, funding your own thing.
And that's where the analysis has to change, right? From just a celebrity story to a proper business story. The sources show this was a very conscious move, a risky divestment, really, from the temporary those easy appearance fees into something foundational. She wasn't satisfied just, cashing in on fame. She deliberately moved from getting paid to represent things to owning the things I believe in. And that takes more than just reputation. It needs real capital commitment. You have to accept the operational risk involved.
Which led to Good American, or GA, co-founded in 2016 with Emma Grede. And it wasn't just like a random product line they cooked up. It was anchored by this core mission: size inclusivity, making fashion truly fit everybody.
Yes, that decision was absolutely foundational and very specific. By 2022, GA had blown past that $200 billion benchmark in annual revenue. And here's the crucial financial point the sources really hammer home. Khloé owns equity. She's a full partner. She put herself at the top of the financial structure, so she captures the asset growth, not just, a fee for promoting it.
And there's a quote in our material that just captures that perfectly, that idea of building something that lasts. She said, "Being famous was never enough for me. I wanted to build something that would last longer than a hashtag."
That's basically the thesis statement for the whole brand, isn't it? It tells you right there. The intention was long-term value, cash flow, asset building, not just chasing quick viral hits. She prioritized controlling her own infrastructure, her own machine, over just being like a valuable piece in someone else's marketing plan.
And that financial bet, that commitment, it paid off immediately. The sources detail the launch October 2016. GA pulls in over $1 million in sales in just the first 24 hours. According to Forbes, that set a record for a new denim launch at the time. That's not hype, that's actual conversion. Right. And that kind of conversion, it doesn't just come from putting a famous face on it. It comes from targeting a huge underserved market. This was clearly a calculated business strategy, not some vanity project. She was deeply involved. Fittings, branding, pricing strategy, working right alongside Emma Grede. And let's not forget, Emma Grede is a powerhouse herself. She later became the first Black woman guest investor on Shark Tank. So serious business minds involved here.
The absolute genius here, though, it feels like, is the sheer size of the market vacuum they went after. She literally turned the fashion industry's long-term blind spot, excluding non-runway body types. She turned that into a competitive edge. GA launched with full-size inclusivity from day one, up to U.S. size 32 plus. And what's really remarkable is why that gap existed for so long. Traditional fashion houses, they often shied away from plus-size lines. It's complex. It's costly. You can't just scale up a size 4 pattern and expect it to work for a size 24. It doesn't work that way. You need totally different fittings, specific fabric grading, specialized supply chains. It's a whole different ballgame. Khloé and Emma Grede saw that industry resistance not as a barrier, but as a massive opportunity.
And the numbers just scream opportunity, don't they? We see these projections. The plus-size apparel market hitting nearly $700 billion globally by 2027, like $696 billion. But then you look at the reality. 67% of women in the U.S. wear size 14 or above. 67%, yet less than 20% of apparel brands were actually serving them. She stepped right into that huge, like 47% market void.
That right there is the core strategic lesson, I think. Don't just fight for attention where everyone else is crowded. Find, identify, and then dominate the territory everyone else is ignoring because it seems, too hard or too complicated. And that insight has let them expand rapidly. By 2025, they're way beyond just jeans, activewear, swimwear, shoes, even maternity lines, but always, always maintaining that core philosophy, fit every woman. It's incredible discipline.
Okay, so strategic entry gets you that record launch, but how does a celebrity brand like this avoid the usual pattern, the hype, then the fade? How do you turn that initial viral spike into real, lasting customer loyalty?
Yeah, that's the next crucial piece. This is where we shift from maybe the big strategy to the day-to-day execution. It's about the power of consistency. She built trust by just showing up consistently, listening to customer feedback, which is absolutely vital in the size-inclusive space. You have to get the fit right. Wearing her own products constantly, sharing genuine behind-the-scenes stuff. This is the consistent daily work that actually compounds value over time.
And that work translates into incredible leverage, doesn't it? The sources confirm right now she commands over 310 million Instagram followers. That number's just staggering. Now, okay, a generic sponsored post from her, valued around $1.8 million. So if she's making that much promoting other people's stuff, what's a perceived value when she posts about her own brand?
Oh, it's way higher. The sources are really clear on this. Her posts for Good American now consistently outperform those paid partnerships. It's not just that the dollar for dollar value might seem higher. It's that the conversion rate is stronger. People see it as authentic. It's coming from the owner, the founder, not just some higher talent reading lines.
Yeah.
So the value of her GA posts, it actually far exceeds that $1.8 million fee because the conversion builds her equity, not just boosts someone else's campaign metrics.
And the integration is it's so seamless. Her own very public fitness journey, which she framed as getting strong, right? Not necessarily getting skinny. That became a literal living advertisement for the whole Good American ethos. She's embodying the brand's values, transforming her personal story into this powerful commercial statement.
Precisely. You can buy attention, right? Pay for eyeballs. But loyalty, that has to be earned. She really mastered the art of just continuous presence, being there long after that initial celebrity buzz died down. The operational mantra here seems to be hype fades, habits compound. Consistency really is the currency of trust in this game.
And that dedication to consistency, it allows the brand to have a real backbone, choosing genuine values over just chasing the next fleeting trend. While other brands are pivoting based on, the latest TikTok style, Khloé anchored GA firmly to that clear statement, denim for everybody. It makes the brand about something more than just clothes. It's a statement.
And this is where her personal history becomes, strategic power. It's fascinating. The sources point out, Khloé was often criticized for not looking like a Kardashian. That comparison thing again. She took that painful experience, that perceived flaw, and used it to define her mission. She built a brand based on radical acceptance, essentially turning rejection into a source of customer loyalty.
It's incredibly powerful emotional currency, isn't it? She took that quote, "Growing up in the spotlight, I always felt different, so I built a brand where no one else would have to feel that way and made it the actual engine of the business."
And that commitment, it translates directly into commercial success, real dollars and cents. The sources highlight GA's expansion into over 80 Macy's stores. And crucially, it was specifically because of this inclusivity-first model. Major retailers aren't just buying another Kardashian line. They're buying the access that GA provides, access to this massive, underserved market that, frankly, they couldn't reach effectively on their own.
And it feels like this isn't just about fashion anymore. It points to a real long-game strategy. We see this quiet diversification happening too, which shows her long-term focus. In 2024, she launched a health-focused popcorn brand, which, aligns perfectly with that booming functional snack trend.
Yeah, it's smart.
It looks like building an ecosystem, right? Fashion, wellness, lifestyle, all kind of aligned under that core idea that strong and accessible is the new standard.
She's clearly building for decades of relevance, not just aiming for the next quarterly headline. The ultimate lesson here, I think, is that she didn't just capitalize on her existing celebrity. She actually built robust infrastructure around clear, principled values. That's different.
So it all kind of synthesizes into this playbook, really. A playbook for how to turn perceived weakness being cast in that shadow role into real strategic market power. She wasn't out there fighting the celebrity battle for who had the brightest spotlight. No, she was effectively in the boardroom, quietly building supply chains, distribution partnerships, and crucially, a deep, loyal customer base.
She built a market that, in the end, demanded the spotlight shine on her. One source captured that mindset perfectly. They saw me as a supporting character, so I wrote my own plot. She stayed in those strategic margins, long enough to actually own the space that everyone else dismissed as too difficult or maybe too niche.
And that really is the enduring truth here for you, the listener, to maybe take away. Fame is fleeting, right? It might get you a viral moment, a hashtag, but ownership endures because it's built on actual infrastructure, not just attention.
Yeah, she proved that being the quiet builder, well, that wins the long game because the foundation you create is principled, it's personal, and it's profoundly valuable in the end.
Khloé didn't need the crown because she built and owned the castle. So we'll leave you with this final thought, building on everything we've uncovered today. If the world seems obsessed with performance, with the spotlight, what strong foundation, what valuable castle are you quietly building while maybe everyone else is looking elsewhere?
Think about that difficult, maybe unseen, long-term work you're investing in. The infrastructure, the relationships, the skills, the things that will endure beyond the next headline or the next social media trend.
That's the deep dive for today. Thanks so much for joining us.